Listen up, because I'm about to hit you with some hard truth. Most people wake up every day like it's an accident. No purpose, no plan, just dragging themselves out of bed, scrolling their phones, and wondering why their life isn't where they want it to be. You think champions live like that? You think warriors wake up and hit snooze 5 times before rolling over like a damn corpse? No. Your morning routine sets the tone for the rest of your life. It's not just about waking up early. It's about waking up with intention. You want to be disciplined? It starts the second your eyes open. You want to build mental toughness? You better own your mornings. Because if you can't control the first hour of your day, what makes you think you can control anything else? Let me tell you something. Comfort is a killer. That warm bed, that extra sleep, that's your weakness talking. And every time you give in, you're telling yourself that average is okay. But it's not. You got to get up and move before the world even wakes up, before the distractions hit, before the excuses start creeping in. You need to be out there grinding, running, reading, meditating, training your mind and your body for war. You don't have time? Bullshit. You make time. You sacrifice the late nights, the useless habits, the things that aren't serving you, because every damn morning you're either building yourself up or tearing yourself down. People ask why they're stuck, why they're not getting ahead. And I ask them, what's your morning look like? Because if you're not winning the morning, you sure as hell ain't winning the day. So tomorrow, when that alarm goes off, don't think, don't hesitate. Don't negotiate with weakness. Get up, act, and start living like the beast you were meant to be. Now go earn it. Your morning routine sets the tone for your entire day. The way you wake up, the first actions you take, and the mindset you establish in those early moments determine the momentum you carry forward. Most people don't realize how much control they have over their own lives. And it all begins with what they do the second they open their eyes. If you start the day in a state of chaos, scrambling to get ready, checking your phone, and letting distractions dictate your first thoughts, you've already lost. You've put yourself in a reactive state instead of a proactive one. Instead of owning your day, you're being controlled by external forces before you even step outside. That's the difference between people who stay stuck and those who take control of their future. When you wake up with purpose, everything changes. The moment you get out of bed, you're setting a standard. Either you're the kind of person who takes charge, who moves with urgency, who dominates their time, or you're the kind of person who lets circumstances dictate their actions. And the truth is, most people fall into the second category. They hit snooze. They let the warmth of the bed keep them trapped in comfort. They wake up already behind, rushing to catch up with the day instead of attacking it. That's not how winners operate. That's not how people who build legendary lives operate. They don't start the day behind. They don't allow themselves to be at the mercy of whatever distractions, problems, or nonsense the world throws at them. They control their mindset from the moment they wake up. Discipline starts in the morning. It's not just about waking up early. It's about waking up with the right mindset. You have to decide that from the second your feet hit the ground, you are on a mission. The way you begin your day sends a message to yourself. It tells your mind and body what kind of person you are. Are you someone who chooses comfort? Or are you someone who demands more from yourself? That first decision you make, whether to hit snooze or get up immediately, whether to scroll your phone or focus on something productive, sets the standard for the rest of the day. It's not about motivation. Motivation is weak, fleeting. It comes and goes. What matters is the discipline to follow through, to do what you said you would do, to execute even when you don't feel like it. Most people don't fail because they don't have talent or potential. They fail because they don't have control over themselves. They let their feelings dictate their actions instead of having the discipline to do what needs to be done. Your morning routine is proof of that. If you can't win the morning, how are you going to win anything else? If you can't even get yourself to start the day with power, how are you going to push through when things get hard? How are you going to stay consistent when life punches you in the face? The answer is you won't. You'll fold. You'll make excuses. You'll fall back into old patterns because you never built the habit of owning your time, your mindset, and your actions from the moment you wake up. That's why the morning is so important. It's the foundation of everything. You need to program yourself to wake up with purpose, to have a plan, to take immediate action. And that starts with eliminating distractions. The first thing most people do when they wake up is grab their phone, check social media, read messages, or scroll through nonsense that does nothing but waste time and weaken their focus. They allow themselves to be consumed by other people's thoughts, opinions, and problems before they've even had a moment to think for themselves. That's a weak way to start the day. That's giving away your power before you've even had a chance to use it. Instead, you need to set the tone with intentional action. That means having a routine that puts you in the right state of mind, whether it's exercise, meditation, reading, journaling, whatever gets you focused, locked in, and ready to attack the day. It has to be something that forces you to be engaged, to be present, to take control. If you're not actively directing your energy in the morning, you're letting it be controlled by something else. And that's a guaranteed way to stay stuck. People wonder why they feel sluggish, unmotivated, and lost throughout the day. It's because they didn't start strong. They didn't take charge of their mornings. So now they're just reacting to whatever comes their way. When you don't set the tone for the day sets the tone for you. That's why you feel like you're always playing catch up, like you never have enough time, like you're constantly dealing with stress and distractions. You didn't establish control when you had the chance, so now everything else is controlling you. It's not complicated. It's a choice. Either you decide to be intentional about how you wake up, how you structure your morning, how you prepare yourself for the day, or you don't. And if you don't, you better be ready to deal with the consequences, because everything that happens after that is a result of the energy you created, the mindset you built, and the momentum you either gained or lost in those first moments of the morning. The people who get ahead in life aren't necessarily the smartest, the most talented, or the luckiest. They're the ones who take control. They're the ones who refuse to start the day in a weak state. They don't waste time. They don't procrastinate. They don't let themselves fall into the trap of comfort and excuses. They wake up and attack. And that's the key. Attack. You don't wake up just to exist. You wake up to dominate. You wake up to execute. You wake up to get one step closer to the person you're trying to become. Every morning is an opportunity to prove to yourself who you really are. Every morning is a chance to build the discipline, the strength, the resilience you need to win not just the day, but your entire life. Comfort is a silent killer of ambition. It sneaks up on you, wraps itself around you like a warm blanket, and before you know it, you're trapped. Trapped in the same routines, the same excuses, the same life you swore you would change. Most people live their entire lives chasing comfort. They want the easy road, the smooth path, the shortcut that requires the least amount of effort. But here's the truth. Comfort is the enemy of progress. The moment you choose comfort, you are choosing to stay exactly where you are. People love to say they want success. They want change. They want to be the best version of themselves. But when it comes time to do the hard work, they run straight back to what's easy. They hit snooze. They skip the workout. They put off the grind until tomorrow, next week, next year. And before they know it, they've wasted their entire lives waiting for the right time. Doesn't exist. There will never be a moment where the path is clear, where everything feels easy, where you suddenly wake up and all your problems are solved. That moment isn't coming. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can actually start making progress. The problem isn't that life is hard. The problem is that people have become weak. Society has conditioned people to avoid discomfort at all costs. Feeling tired? Take the day off. Feeling stressed? Quit. Feeling overwhelmed? Walk away. That's why most people never achieve anything great, because they allow themselves to quit the moment things get tough. The moment they feel resistance, they back down. They convince themselves that it's okay to take the easy route. that they'll try again later, that they'll start fresh next week. But weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and before they know it, they've built a life based on avoidance. They've become masters of running away from the very things that could make them stronger. Progress is built in discomfort. It's built in the moments where you want to quit but choose to push forward anyway. It's built in the early mornings when your body screams at you to stay in bed, but you get up and move. It's built in the late nights when your mind tells you to rest, but you grind a little longer. Every time you push through discomfort, you get stronger. Every time you embrace the pain instead of running from it, you become harder to break. And that's what separates the winners from everyone else. Winners don't run from struggle, they seek it. They know that every ounce of discomfort, every moment of suffering is shaping them into something greater. People don't realize how much they are capable of because they never push themselves far enough to find out. They stop at the first sign of difficulty. They convince themselves they've done enough, that they've reached their limit, that they deserve a break. But limits are an illusion. What you think is your breaking point is just the beginning. Your mind will always try to protect you, to keep you in a safe, comfortable zone where nothing changes. That's why the second things get tough, your brain starts feeding you excuses. You're too tired. You're not ready. It's too hard. But if you ignore that voice, if you push past that initial resistance, you'll realize that you have so much more in you. The human body is built to endure. Your mind is capable of pushing far beyond what you think is possible. But you'll never know that if you always choose comfort. You'll never tap into your true potential if you always take the easy way out. The people who achieve greatness are the ones who break through their own mental barriers. They refuse to accept their first instinct to quit. They understand that growth only happens in suffering, in struggle, in the moments where most people give up. Comfort will lie to you. It will tell you that you're doing enough when you're not. It will make you believe that you're making progress when you're really just standing still. It will convince you that you're improving when in reality, you're just maintaining. And if you spend your life maintaining, you'll never get anywhere. You'll wake up years from now wondering why nothing has changed, why you're still stuck in the same place, why you never became the person you wanted to be. Look around at the people who are winning, the ones who are dominating, who are reaching new levels year after year. They are not the ones who choose comfort. They are not the ones who make excuses, who take it easy, who wait for the perfect moment. They are the ones who wake up before the sun rises, who push their bodies past exhaustion, who silence the excuses and do the work anyway. They are the ones who understand that pain is temporary, but growth lasts forever. There will never be a day where struggle doesn't exist. There will never be a time where things suddenly become easy. But that's the point. The struggle is what makes you stronger. The discomfort is what forges resilience. The pain is what builds unbreakable discipline. If you want to separate yourself from the weak, from the average, from the ones who will never achieve anything beyond mediocrity, you have to make the decision every single day to reject comfort. You have to get comfortable being comfortable. You have to remind yourself that every moment of pain, every second of suffering is making you harder, sharper, stronger. Most people are addicted to comfort. And that's why most people fail. They want success without sacrifice. They want results without the struggle. They want the rewards without the work. But it doesn't work like that. The ones who make it, the ones who rise to the top, are the ones who have trained themselves to endure what others cannot. They are the ones who embrace pain, who chase after difficulty, who refuse to back down when things get hard. They are the ones who keep moving forward no matter how much it hurts, no matter how much their mind tells them to stop. Comfort is a slow death. It's the thing that keeps you small, keeps you weak, keeps you living a life of regret. If you want to grow, if you want to be better, if you want to become something greater than you are right now, you have to make the decision to stop running from difficulty. You have to look discomfort in the face and step into it willingly. Because every time you do, you are proving to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses, stronger than your fears, stronger than the weak voice in your head that begs you to quit. People who choose comfort live small, insignificant lives. They play it safe. They stay within their limits. They never test themselves. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, why they feel unfulfilled, why they feel like something is missing. What's missing is the fight, the struggle, the challenge. What's missing is the refusal to accept anything less than their full potential. But most people will never understand that because most people will never push themselves far enough to see what they're truly capable of. The decision is simple. Stay comfortable and stay the same, or embrace the pain and become more than you ever thought possible. Your feelings are the biggest liar you will ever meet. They will tell you that you need more rest when you barely put in any work. They will convince you that you're too tired when you've still got plenty left in the tank. They will whisper in your ear that you should wait until tomorrow, that you should take it easy, that you should play it safe. And if you listen to them, you will lose. Every single time. People wake up every day and let their feelings dictate their actions. They let emotions control their decisions. They only move when they feel motivated. They only work when they feel inspired. They only push themselves when it's convenient. That's why they stay stuck. That's why they never achieve anything great. Because they are playing life on the terms of their emotions instead of on the terms of discipline. Your mind is designed to protect you. It wants to keep you safe, keep you comfortable, keep you out of danger. That's why the second you face resistance, your brain starts coming up with excuses. It wants to take the easy way out. It wants to avoid discomfort. But success is built in the exact opposite way. It's built in the moments where you override that voice in your head and take action anyway. You wake up and your body says, I'm too tired. So what? Do it anyway. You sit down to work and your brain says, I don't feel like it. Too bad. Do it anyway. You start training and your muscles scream, this hurts, let's stop. Keep going. Because every time you ignore that weak voice in your head, you take power away from it. Every time you push through when you don't feel like it, you make yourself stronger. And eventually that weak voice gets quieter. It stops controlling you. It stops dictating your actions. Most people spend their lives negotiating with themselves. The alarm goes off. Instead of getting up, they start making deals in their head. Just 5 more minutes. I'll start tomorrow. I'll do it later. And every time they make one of these weak excuses, they reinforce the habit of quitting. They train themselves to be soft. They teach their brain that their feelings are in charge. That's why most people never break through. That's why most people never reach the level they claim they want. Because they are too busy listening to how they feel instead of doing what needs to be done. They tell themselves they need to be in the right mood to start. They wait for the perfect moment, for motivation to strike, for everything to feel right before they move. But the truth is, the best in the world don't wait. They don't care how they feel. They get up and execute no matter what. There is never going to be a day where you feel 100% ready. There will never be a time where the stars align and everything is easy. That's why you can't afford to rely on your emotions. Your emotions will fluctuate. Your feelings will change. One day you'll be fired up. The next day you'll feel completely drained. But that doesn't mean you stop. That doesn't mean you wait. That means you show up anyway, because that's what winners do. People love to make excuses for why they can't do something. They blame their circumstances. They blame their past. They blame their environment. But most of the time, the real enemy is the weak conversation they keep having with themselves. It's the constant battle in their head between action and hesitation. And the people who win in life are the ones who learn to shut that hesitation down. Your mind will always try to take the easy way out. It will always try to convince you to slow down, to rest, to wait. And if you give in once, it becomes easier to give in again. You start to build a habit of quitting. And once that habit is in place, it becomes your identity. You become the person who always finds an excuse. You become the person who never follows through. And once that happens, it's almost impossible to break free. The only way to stop that cycle is to start taking action, no matter how you feel, to stop overthinking, to stop negotiating, to stop letting that weak voice in your head win. The second you start hesitating, you move. The second you start doubting, you take the first step. You don't give yourself time to talk yourself out of it. You just go. Because hesitation kills momentum, and once momentum is lost, it's 10 times harder to get it back. The people who succeed are not the ones who always feel good. They are not the ones who wake up every morning excited and motivated. They are the ones who have learned to push through even on the days they feel like garbage. They are the ones who show up even when every fiber of their being is telling them to stop. They are the ones who keep moving forward no matter what obstacles are in their way. Most people are controlled by how they feel in the moment. If they wake up tired, they take the day off. If they feel unmotivated, they skip the work. If something is hard, they give up. But the people who reach the top, the people who dominate, they don't give themselves the option to quit. They don't give their feelings a vote. They set the standard and they follow through no matter what. The difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't isn't talent, it isn't luck, it isn't some magic formula, it's discipline. It's the ability to act regardless of how they feel. It's the ability to show up every single day, whether they're tired, unmotivated, or completely drained. They have programmed themselves to execute no matter what. You have to decide what kind of person you're going to be. Are you going to be the person who gives in every time something is hard? Are you going to be the person who lets their emotions control their actions? Or are you going to be the person who moves forward no matter what? The choice is yours. But if you keep listening to your feelings, if you keep waiting for motivation, if you keep looking for the easy way, you will stay exactly where you are. Pain is the price of growth. It's the currency you pay for success, for progress, for becoming something greater than you are right now. Most people run from pain, they avoid it, hide from it, do everything they can to escape it, and that's why they stay weak. That's why they never reach their full potential. Because instead of embracing the struggle, they choose comfort. They choose the easy way, but there is no easy way. Every shortcut leads back to square one. Every time you dodge discomfort, you are delaying your own progress. Every time you give in to the urge to quit, you are robbing yourself of the strength you could have built. Pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. It's the one thing that will show you exactly who you are. When you're tired, when you're broken, when you're deep in the trenches and everything in you is screaming to stop, that's where your real self is revealed. That's where you find out if you are built for this or if you are just pretending. Most people don't want to see that version of themselves. They don't want to face the truth. They don't want to know that they are weaker than they thought. So they quit before they ever have to find out. They stay where it's safe. They make excuses. They tell themselves that they're doing their best when deep down, they know they're not even close. Pain is what separates the strong from the weak, the ones who rise from the ones who fade away, the ones who push through from the ones who break down. Everyone wants to be great until it's time to do what greatness requires. Everyone wants success until they realize how much suffering it demands. That's why so few people ever reach the highest level. Because the path is brutal. The road is unforgiving. The cost is everything you have. And most people aren't willing to pay it. They want the reward, but they don't want the sacrifice. They want the results, but they don't want the suffering. You don't grow in comfort. You don't get stronger by staying in the same place. The only way to become better is to endure more than you thought possible. To push past your limits again and again until those limits no longer exist. Every time you step into pain instead of running from it, you are building something inside yourself that can never be broken. You are developing an unshakable will, a mindset that cannot be stopped. Most people will never understand this. They will spend their lives looking for the easy way out. They will chase comfort and avoid pain at all costs. And in doing so, they will guarantee their own mediocrity. The process is simple, but it is not easy. You show up every day, no matter how you feel. You push yourself further than you think you can go. You embrace every struggle, every setback, every moment of exhaustion, and you keep moving forward. Because every ounce of pain you endure is making you stronger. Every hardship is forging you into something greater. Most people don't have the stomach for this. They quit at the first sign of discomfort. They tap out the second things get hard. And then they wonder why they never achieve anything beyond the ordinary. They wonder why they feel stuck, why they aren't making progress, why their dreams seem so far away. Pain is not something to fear. It's something to chase. It's the proof that you are doing what others won't, that you are stepping into territory most people are too afraid to enter, that you are transforming into a version of yourself that most will never have the discipline to become. Every time you push through pain, you are separating yourself from the pack. You are putting distance between yourself and the people who quit. You are building something that cannot be taken from you. Pain is what makes you unbreakable. It's what gives you the kind of mental toughness that cannot be shaken, the kind of resilience that allows you to keep going when everything inside you says to stop. Most people will never develop this because they are too busy looking for the easy way. But there is no easy way. The only way is through the struggle, through the suffering, through the moments where you think you've reached your limit and then push past it anyway. That's where growth happens. That's where strength is built. That's where you become something more. Every time you choose comfort over pain, you are choosing weakness. Every time you give in to the desire to quit, you are choosing mediocrity. And if you do that enough times, it becomes who you are. You become the person who never follows through, the person who always backs down, the person who never reaches their potential because they were too afraid to endure the struggle. But if you make the decision to embrace pain, if you make the choice to seek out discomfort, you will become unstoppable. You will build a mind that cannot be broken, a spirit that cannot be crushed, a will that refuses to quit. People love to talk about success, about greatness, about pushing their limits, but most of them have no idea what it actually takes. They have never stepped into the kind of suffering that separates the best from the rest. They have never pushed themselves to the point where their body is screaming, their mind is begging them to stop, and yet they keep going anyway. That is the difference. That is what makes the great ones different from everyone else. They don't run from pain, they embrace it. They don't look for an easy path, they take the hardest road they can find. Because they know that on the other side of that suffering is the person they were meant to become. You will never reach your full potential by staying in your comfort zone. You will never become great by doing what is easy. Every ounce of strength you gain will come from enduring what others run from. Every step forward will be built on the struggles you refuse to back down from. You have to be willing to suffer. You have to be willing to break yourself down so that you can build yourself back up stronger. Because that is the only way. There are no shortcuts. There are no hacks. There is only the work, the pain, the grind. If you want to separate yourself, if you want to become more than you are right now, you have to embrace pain like it is your best friend. You have to seek it out. You have to stop avoiding discomfort and start chasing it, because the more you endure, the stronger you become. The more you suffer, the harder you get. And the harder you get, the more unstoppable you become. The only thing standing between you and the person you want to be is your willingness to suffer. The only thing keeping you from reaching your highest level is your ability to endure. Most people will never understand this. They will spend their lives avoiding the very thing that can make them great. And that's why most people stay average. The choice is yours. You can stay comfortable, stay safe, stay exactly where you are. Or you can step into the pain, embrace the struggle, and transform into something greater than you ever thought possible. Fear is the biggest killer of dreams. It's the silent assassin that keeps people stuck, trapped in the same cycle, repeating the same patterns, living the same life year after year. It's the invisible chain that holds you back from doing what you know you need to do. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort, fear of the unknown. And most people, whether they realize it or not, are slaves to it. They let fear dictate their actions, control their decisions, determine how they live. They don't take risks. They don't chase their goals with everything they have. They don't push themselves beyond what feels safe because they're too afraid of what might happen if they fail. Fear whispers lies in your ear. It tells you that you aren't good enough, that you aren't ready, that you don't have what it takes. It convinces you to wait, to hold back, to hesitate. And in that hesitation, in that moment of doubt, you lose. Because the second you give fear a voice, it grows stronger. The second you allow it to take control, it starts running your life. And before you know it, years go by and you're still standing in the same place, wishing you had done more, regretting that you let fear win. You cannot negotiate with fear. You cannot reason with it, compromise with it, try to work around it. Fear doesn't respond to logic. It doesn't care how much potential you have, how badly you want something, how much you dream about success. It only cares about keeping you trapped where you are. And the only way to overcome it is to face it head on, to walk straight into the fire instead of running from it, to attack the very thing that makes you uncomfortable and refuse to back down. Most people think that courage means not being afraid, but that's not true. Courage is being terrified and doing it anyway. Courage is feeling the fear and refusing to let it stop you. Fear is always going to be there. It's never going to go away completely. There will always be something that scares you, something that makes you hesitate, something that makes you question yourself. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. Successful people move forward despite the fear. They don't wait for it to disappear. They don't wait until they feel ready. They take action no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how uncertain, no matter how much doubt is screaming in their head. Fear loves hesitation. The longer you wait, the more power it gains. The more you think about it, analyze it, question yourself, the stronger it becomes. That's why you can't afford to hesitate. You can't afford to sit there overthinking, debating, wondering what might happen if things go wrong. Because the more you do that, the more paralyzed you become. The people who win in life don't give fear time to take over. The second they feel that hesitation creeping in, they act. They take the first step. They make the move. They commit before they can talk themselves out of it. Most people are waiting for the right time, waiting for a sign, waiting until they feel completely confident. But that moment is never going to come. If you keep waiting until you feel ready, you will be waiting for the rest of your life. Because fear doesn't disappear by itself. Confidence doesn't magically show up one day. You have to build it. You have to earn it. And the only way to do that is through action, through putting yourself in situations that scare you, through stepping into the unknown and proving to yourself that you can handle it. Fear is the biggest obstacle between you and the life you want. It's the one thing that stands in the way of everything you say you want to achieve. And if you don't learn to control it, to master it, to override it, you will never reach your full potential. Because fear will always give you a reason to quit. It will always give you an excuse to back down. It will always find a way to convince you that you can't do it. People like to think that fear is a sign to stop. That if they feel afraid, it must mean they aren't ready. That they shouldn't move forward, that they should wait. But fear is actually a sign that you are doing exactly what you need to do. Because fear only shows up when you are stepping outside your comfort zone. It only appears when you are pushing yourself beyond what you thought was possible. That's why you should never run from it. You should chase it. You should seek out the things that scare you, because those are the things that will make you stronger. You have two choices when it comes to fear. You can let it control you, let it dictate your actions, let it keep you stuck in the same place forever, or you can use it as fuel, use it as motivation, use it as proof that you are on the right path. Every time you feel fear, you have a decision to make. You can give into it, or you can push through it. And every time you push through it, you take away its power. You show yourself that fear has no control over you. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than the thing trying to hold you back. Most people don't realize that fear is an illusion. It feels real. It feels overwhelming. It feels like something you can't escape. But fear is just a thought. It's just a story your brain is telling you. And most of the time, the things you are afraid of never even happen. Your mind creates these worst case scenarios, these imaginary disasters, these exaggerated outcomes that don't even exist. And because you believe them, you hold yourself back. But if you learn to see fear for what it really is, just noise, just thoughts, just illusions, you can move forward without hesitation. Fear is not a wall, it's a door. And the only way to get through it is to step forward. The only way to break free from it is to stop letting it dictate your actions. The people who succeed in life are not the ones who never feel fear. They are the ones who have learned to act in spite of it. They are the ones who refuse to let it stop them. They are the ones who feel the doubt, feel the uncertainty, feel the anxiety, and move forward anyway. The battle is not with fear itself. The battle is with your reaction to it. Most people let fear control them. They let it shut them down, stop them in their tracks, keep them from ever taking the risk necessary to grow. But the ones who win are the ones who have trained themselves to override that reaction, to recognize fear and take action anyway, to rewire their brain so that instead of seeing fear as a reason to stop, they see it as a reason to go harder. Fear is a liar. It will tell you that you can't do it, that you aren't good enough, that you will fail. And if you listen to it, you will never break free. But if you learn to silence that voice, to shut it down before it takes control, you will unlock a version of yourself that most people never get to experience. You will step into a mindset where nothing can stop you, where no obstacle is too big, no challenge is too overwhelming, no fear is too strong, because you will know the truth. Fear is nothing compared to the power you have within you.